Victor Echo 1 Bravo, Whiskey Victor. Where we're at now is just a quick sweep. That's my computer area. I'm a computer enthusiast for many, many years. 40 years or so in the electronics. I guess now it's almost 50. So this is my ham shack. Background is 39 years in the Air Force, in communications, long-range radar, and NORAD and that sort of stuff. On the left-hand side here, there's some networks that I play with. Amplifier, standard stuff, antenna controller, which is quite interesting. This is a circuit board, and what I have is one antenna going into it, but I have 4 other transceivers or receivers listening on the other end, so I can switch to that antenna. This was given to me by Jerry. It was a circuit board, and I put it together in certain areas and wired it up and built an app so that I could run it remotely. And I built a case, so that works very well. That's just a little head of it that tells me which radio is active. What you're looking at here is the digital area I have. That's running 24 hours a day, 24/7. And the SDR radio is not on, but that's a little SDR radio, receive only. That's a SWR meter, which is for a little power amplifier I have in the back. Down here is the actual QDX QRP Labs transceiver. That's about 2.5 inches wide and about 1 inch tall, 6 inches deep. Let me look here as well. Yeah, and then you have the power meter, and then you have the antenna tuner. That basically is the transceiver. What you're looking at here is the program I use called WSJTZ or X. There's different varieties of it. This takes all the information and puts it into human decoded values, I guess, so we can recognize what the digital information is. That's Saudi Arabia. You can see it gives you quite a bit of information on their signal strength and all that. Now this information here is automatically being transferred at the same time to Grid Tracker. That's what you see there. Now Grid Tracker provides a graphical human interface with, let me just turn down this radio here in the background. You can hear it running. It's kind of, okay. There, that shut up a little bit, and let me just move this over here. Just give me a second. Sorry about this. I just got to move it. There. So anyway, now I'm not fighting the other radio. So what you have on the left here are all the different calls and locations that other program, WJSC, had. It puts it to a much nicer graphical, visual type of appearance. And so you can look at things quite quickly. It can be programmed to look for different things or just CQs, whatever, and different colors. So I have it so into CQ, it comes up to that color. If it's somebody I'm looking for or a continent I'm looking for, Saudi Arabia, it comes up like that. The other ones right now, which are a little darkened, it shows that I've communicated and have at least one contact with those. It'll tell you the state, the flag, and of course their dB strength, and whether they can chat with you. There's a little area on the side here that allows us to chat back and forth via text. The main part of the unit here, which is the graphical interface, so it's the same info you see over sort of like there, now looks like this. It's taken them and put them actually where they're represented in the world. So what you're looking at here is North America to the left. The reason that's yellow right now, I've got it highlighted so that these are DXECs. So these are some of the ones I'm looking for on that particular band in that particular mode. The ants, or the ant trail, these are live communications. That station here is actually communicating to that one, and this one's going this way, so he's actually talking to that one. So these are real time, and you can look to see what they're talking, or who they're talking to, and what they're talking about, because you can look here, for example. Of course, as soon as I go there, I notice he disappeared. But let's go here and see what that one is. So that one's in Spain. I've worked there, that area at least 6 times. So I can look at any particular area whatsoever, whether it be in North America or whether it be in Japan. It's wherever you wish. And there's the moon. So this thing tells you a lot of information. And I could actually turn something on. It will show you the amount of signals that I've seen and where they're from for the last X amount of hours. But right now there'd be nothing, almost like a big yellow whiteout, because there's so many. So right now this thing has seen 3,194 calls just in the last few days, because I had to cycle it down. It would be higher. My QSOs on this one are 3,092. So these are all the legend. I can touch this and it'll zoom in on my QTH, which is right here. in that area. And you can give another geographical look like that. You can shrink and enlarge it, whatever you want to do. Let me look here and see down here. You can call up your logs. You can type something in and see if you've ever worked them and all the details. It's all built in there. We have the, the darkness. There's the moon right there and a bit of shading that can be controlled. You have the conditions of the bands in the world. What's up, what's down, what's good, what's poor. You can look at different things. You want to find out what's the best frequency. If I look right now, according to this, the probability for contact is very, very good in the darker reddish to purple. So it's in this really area here that's really strong here. But if I shrink it down a bit, it's still quite good going all the way across. And you can see. So there are different representations of layers and that sort of stuff. So I'll just turn that off for the moment. You can turn the weather on. There you go. I just turned on. You can see the cloud formation. If you open this up, it's a little more visible. It gives you more detail. So, and this thing is always talking. In other words, like you say, when it sees something that you said you were interested in, it talks out loud to you. So you can be in the shack here, which I usually am, doing some programming over there and just listening. And then I just walk over here and work the station if I wish. Lots of other stuff. Let me look here and see. I think that's about all I'll bother with at the moment. Just different contacts here. So let me just bring this back down. Many wanted entities. VA3 WS, okay. And I'm just going to put it back where I normally see it here. So there's a reasonable amount of traffic. This is on the 40 meter band right now. And it's approximately 6:14 in the afternoon here on Wednesday. So, and let me see. I think that's about it, or at least that's enough. I did mention back here that I just use a little power supply, and then I use it's a 150 watt amplifier, so if I do need to turn things on, especially for voice, but even digital sometimes, you need to really push it up in power like 25 or 30 watts, which doesn't sound like much, but it's a lot when you're running it on the digital modes. I think that wraps it up. Been playing around here with, this is another interesting area. I have a VR goggles here. So I've been interfacing them so that I can see my digital stuff here that I just looked at in VR. Basically, I put the goggles on and I'm able to see all these monitors as well as other monitors I want to bring up. All part of playing around. This is a tiny little Linux box, very, very small. As you can see, there's my finger. And what that does is that's Hamclock. Hamclock is a free piece of software, but it also can be run in Windows. It can be run in Linux, or it can run in a little box like this. This was a little Linux box, and it runs 24 hours a day and gives me a lot of information on the world band openings and all that sort of stuff. And I can